Hello, and welcome to the Knightsman Channel. What we got today is we got a 2-hour verdict on the Nomad life path in Cyberpunk 2077, which is just dropped and it looks amazing. Now, we have done the Street Kid and the corporate playthroughs for 2 hours. Now we're hitting the third and last one, which is the Nomad, and then we're going to give you a small description of both the life paths and the Nomad itself. But before we crack on with the video, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to our sponsors, which is the developer CD Projekt Red. Thank you so much for hooking the channel up and allowing us to do this review for everyone out there. Because our videos are based around the life paths, I'm going to give you a quick breakdown or description of what a life path is, so you can make a good choice. So life paths are playable introductions to Cyberpunk 2077. They are less about building your character from a playstyle and stat perspective, and more about choosing the type of character you want to step into the shoes of. It's an important part of building your V, and which life path you want to experience is the first choice you make when starting the game. V has 3 potential backstories, each one of them giving you a taste of the dark future from a different status and perspective. Each life path features its own character, introduction quest, and starting locations. Your choice will most directly affect the beginning of the game, but you'll find longer term ramifications as you get deeper into Night City, including opening up specific dialogue options and new opportunities further down the line. So with the Nomad, most nomads roam in clans, but you are a lone wolf. Right now you've made yourself familiar with the outskirts of the city, known as the Badlands. But even for wandering off the grid, nomads like you, the allure of Night City can prove overwhelming. Now you're picking a character which is called V, can be male or female, but you're pretty much picking your life path, and what I'm going to now describe is the background and what advantages you can bring to being or picking a nomad. So have experience in the Badlands, where they often work as security for cargo making its way to and from the city. So a Nomad V can use the knowledge in jobs that require this type of organization, or they can use past experiences as a bargaining chip in negotiations with, say, a corporate agent who only really knows how to work within the safe space of Night City boardrooms. Now this is the only life path which doesn't start you off in Night City itself. It does start you off in the Badlands, and again, as stated previous, it has a different opening than the other 2 life paths. And I found this opening, it was okay. We had a sheriff try and stiff arm us, and then we had a good little chase, and straight off the bat, you get to use a car a lot quicker than you do the other 2, but again, you do play the same missions as the other 2 life paths, so don't worry too much. Now, if you're a person that loves your cars, or you're into being like the outcast of the city, then definitely Nomad would be the one for you. You're pretty much starting out as said in the Badlands, and you're not a city dweller. So if that's you in terms of your personality, or that's how you roll in real life, then you can probably relate a lot more to a nomad if you're a country person, let's say. But yeah, we do make our way into Night City, and then from there take on the quests that you usually would do in the story itself. I would be interested to see how many missions you actually do in the Badlands, or what sort of smuggling missions you can take advantage of, because I think out of the 3 of them, this would probably be for me personally on the lower end, because I don't know how many missions you actually do out there, or what smuggling stuff you can do, or what perks would benefit you the most. I feel like most of the game was probably going to be in Night City, so I feel like the other two ones will have more of advantage. However, don't deter you from choosing the other route, because at the end of the day you still get the same perks in terms of upgrading. You still get all that kind of jizz jazz with it, and who knows, you might actually spend quite a lot of time out in the Badlands, and if that's the case, then this one's going to be perfect, and you might have better interactions with the different characters that come along with starting your story off as a nomad as well. But it might provide more challenges within the Night City, being an outsider and having to deal with people not liking you or whatnot. But at the end of the day, whatever it takes to kind of get there, I guess. But look, the environment in regards to how barren it is, and then actually coming across into Night City itself is pretty cool. If you haven't checked out the other videos in regards to the Street Kid or the Corporate, definitely check those out as well, because at the end of the day I think you're going to get a good relative gameplay with no matter what one you pick. But Nomad is definitely kind of the external one, and you can then maybe shift some builds into what you want to be. So for example, Nomad could be more of a brawler. So if you're more of a brawler, then investing in the body and intelligence might seem like strange combination, but it makes for a solid damage dealing build. So if that's you might need that as a nomad, because a lot of the people out there will be against you. But you'll be very durable, healthy, with a good boost to your fist fighting abilities, but close combat can be dangerous, as you need to reach your target first, sort of thing, which isn't easy if they keep shooting at you and that sort of stuff. But that's where I guess hacking comes in handy, applying various damage over time effects on enemies, stuff like that. So that's just one aspect of being a brawler. We've got different examples and builds that you can do, such as like a tech gunslinger. So that's investing in like reflexes and the technical ability, and that will allow you to specialize in like tech revolvers, using their capabilities to their full extent. So a good way is you start off with a revolver on the Nomad as well, which is pretty cool. A little bit different to the other two classes. So again, they have little differences between the life paths, but it sounds pretty cool. Some of these guns, using tech guns to pierce through walls and cover, making enemies vulnerable to offense. You can bounce bullets off walls, hit targets from different angles. All sounds pretty cool. And then we've got another example build, which is a cyber ninja. So that's investing in reflexes and cool, and that's focusing on the stealth or the silent kills, throwing knives, poisoning enemies, that sort of just as. So I think having that fluid class system and being able to choose different builds, or choosing different classes, I think that's gonna overall be able to build that character up and really build that street cred, because you can build that street cred no matter what life path you choose. Again, it's all tied in together, and you're not going to miss anything by choosing one over the other. But just the range of things. And I think when you first get into Night City, by being chased through my playthrough anyway, you really do see a different side of entering Night City. And the graphics are absolutely beautiful. There's so much detail jam packed in the city. There's whole different streets that you can venture down and kind of really get the feel of people, and there's a lot of side tasks and hustles that you can do, and it seems like the map is just filtered with them, which, you know, I think personally isn't a bad thing, because, you know, it's going to keep you engaged. And a lot of the stuff that I'm hearing from people is that the game is not as long as what they think, but then again, you know, it might give you the opportunity to, you know, play through on a different life path also, so, you know, can't be a bad thing. But I think one thing I do love about this game is being able to have that character development, which I think is huge, and you know, all this different sort of customization definitely fits well in an RPG game with all these different elements, which I think tie into a big you know, game which definitely starts you off on the right path. And I think they've done this well by picking either 3 different ones and then experiencing the first kind of backstory to each of these characters. It really builds the character up, and it kind of sets you up for connecting to your character as well, which I think is vital pushing on to the game. But overall, you know, Nomad is a pretty good life path to pick, so definitely if that's down your alley, then you know, don't hesitate in choosing that. But, you know, I enjoyed all 3 of them, pumping 2 hours into all 3 of them, which is cool, so it gives me a good little background. So I'll do a video after this explaining what one I've picked and why. But thank you very much for listening all the way through. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, bell notification, and definitely comment down below which life path you're going to pick and if you're enjoying the game. But apart from that, that is Knightsman out. Until the next video, check out the other ones though. Cha-ching.